Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Ryan Live. My name is Gigi, and I am joining you here tonight. I think this is my third, if not fourth show. So getting my feet wet here on this network and loving every minute of it. I have been having a great time with all of you, all your wonderful comments, all your questions. I am just having a ball. So tonight's show is the same as every other show that I've been on here to do. I am going to be taking questions, and if you have a question, make sure you drop it down in the chat, okay? Drop it down in the chat, and you will be able to get a reading that way. If you are gracious enough to provide a donation, you'll be moved up to the top of the list, and we'll make sure that your question is read on tonight. And I look forward to reading for all of you tonight, and I thank you in advance for trusting me with your questions. So tonight, after this show at midnight, you have to come back and you have to check out Whispers from the Forest with Squirrel, and that's at midnight Eastern time. And she is an outstanding reader. I've known her now for quite some time, and she always amazes me with the information and energy that comes through with her reading. So make sure you check her out tonight at midnight. All right, so let's get started tonight. I would love to know what's been going on with you all, what's happening with you all. This week's been a little crazy, and I don't know if it's just the energies. I didn't check my astrological weather report before coming in and joining us here tonight, but it's just been a week of people just kind of like barging in, bogarting, demanding their way. And I'd be interested to know if that's what's going on with all of you. And one of my specialties is actually reading a situation, looking inside the mind and heart, if necessary, of the other person to see what they're thinking about you or what they're thinking about the situation. So if you've been experiencing that same energy this week that I have, of people just trying to like roll up on you and run over you, drop your question down in the chat. We need to read on that. We need to find out where these things are going. So with that all being said, let's get my first question up so we can get started. All right, so Jama Ball, will I get to go for a day out, or even better, get away for a weekend this year? All right, Jama, I don't know if that means just vacation, like girls trip, romantic trip. Perhaps you want to add some more detail to that, what you are interested in, because of course, within the 12 months of a year, there has to be a weekend where you're doing something, right? So let's get specific. Is it romantic that you're interested in knowing about? Is it a romantic getaway? Is it a weekend with the girls? Is it a weekend with family? Okay, so romantic. We want to know what's happening this year. So here's how I'm going to take this with our question. I'm going to look at I'll look at each quarter of the year and the possibility of that happening. So first 4 quarters, first 4 months of the year. Let's look and see what the possibility, and I have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. That's screaming no to me. So from now through April, I'm getting a no. So May, June, July, August, what is the likelihood in that time? Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, so we're picking up speed towards what you want. It's kind of like the whole sluggishness, and I'm saying sluggishness, and it's probably not the right word, but it's like that energy has been on pause, on hold. So now it's starting to move in that right direction in that second quarter of the year. So let's look at September, October. Let's look at September, October. I think I got messed up with my quarters here. September, October, we have, and I've got cards flying out all over the floor here. Knight of Cups in the reverse. Not romantic, but I do see something where it's more like a camaraderie with friends, right? Um, because in this card, all right, like I said, that energy coming through for that particular read was very strong because my cards kept popping up out of my hands, and they're like I have like no less than 8 cards on the floor right now, so I'm gonna switch decks so we can keep it moving here. But yeah, lots of energy there, Gemma. Lots that Spirit had to say about that. I would encourage you to get a longer reading on that so we could dig in deeper. All right, so what do we got next? Who is next with a question for us here tonight? We have Pooja. What does Spirit want me to know about my connection with Naaman or Naaman? If I'm pronouncing that in some way correct. All right, let's take a look inside. I'm going to call Naaman just for the, so I don't have to keep struggling with that. Let's look inside their head and their heart towards you and see what Spirit wants you to know about what that person is feeling, thinking, that kind of thing. And it comes out with the Hermit in the reverse and the 6 of Cups in the reverse. I also have Strength in the reverse as well as the Queen of Cups. So with the Hermit in the reverse, it's like coming out of their shell. So Naaman has been in this protective shell, especially with their heart is what I'm feeling. And I feel like that's energy because of the major arcana of the Hermit. I feel like that's been going on for a very long time. It's a major opening up and starting to resurface. But with the 6 of Cups in the reverse, everything looks scary. Everything looks in their mind like, yeah, in their heart, they want to come out of their shell because they have this feeling of trust towards you. But in their mind, all the fears are like circling, right? So what's next? What's going to happen? I do have the Strength card in the reverse here. I'll show it to you in the upright. Very beautiful card. But basically in the reverse, what I'm getting from that is the Cowardly Lion, right? So they feel as if you will nurture more if they portray this role or play this role in the connection as the Cowardly Lion. And it's kind of feeling like a cop-out, to be honest with you. It's feeling like, it's not like I'm opening up to you about my fears. It's more like I'm going to play this hurt role. All right. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you're able to get what you need out of that reading, okay? And make sure that you are in a right mind state as you proceed forward with Naaman, okay? Thank you for your question. So let's move on. Who's next? What do we got going on next here? What question do we have? So Audrey, Cassandra, like was said, would find a way to talk to Wes. She texted him on his work number and said, "Am I blocked? What did I do?" Wes told me he told her, "We don't need to talk. I can talk to the boys." Okay. So you're inquiring about a third party as far as, so this isn't your situation, it sounds like. She said, "Okay, I can respect that." She doesn't respect anything. What's up with this? This how things really went down, or she playing? Okay, so I'm not understanding what your real question is here. So the boys, I guess, are this person's children. And yeah, so let's narrow it down to one question, Audrey. What do you want to know? What do you really want to know about what's happening? You've got like 4 questions in there, and I need 1, okay? Now, if you get the mega reading, if you decide to go with the mega reading, you can ask as many questions as you would like to ask. Like, You can ask 4 or 5, however many questions you see fit. But for these 2-minute readings, I need you to narrow it down to one and be very specific about what that question is. So if you go ahead and update that, we'll get you back on the list and let's move forward. Who's next? All right, Unique. I like that. Unique Smith. Love reading. Is Sir Diamond my forever, or should I move on? All right. I like that. All right. And I think it's Diamond, not Damon. So I'm gonna call this person Diamond. And we're gonna look inside their heart, their head, towards you, what they're seeing, feeling, and we'll see if they're here forever. Wow. First off the top is the 10 of Cups. That's a great sign. Followed by the 4 of Cups. We have the 6 of Swords in the reverse and the Devil in the reverse. All right. For that beautiful start with the 10 of Cups, because in Diamond's heart, yes, you're the one in their heart of hearts, but there's a lot of conflict going on here because I don't believe that Diamond actually acts in their own best interests. Like, they can know that they have all this love in your heart, but oh my God, the drama is real. And if you haven't started to experience it that way yet, trust me when I tell you, with this Devil in the reverse, the drama will be real and it's going to be coming your way soon. This the 4 of Cups here that I have in Diamond's mind state, for all this good feeling, all this emotion around you being in their life and how they feel about you in their heart, with this 4 of Cups, they're really holding back. They're very measured with what they give you, right? And they also, I see, like, I want to call it a low level, it's not the right terminology, but low level depression going on with them, where they are operating in the world the way they need to, but there's a lot going on in the mind that keeps it churning. And all right, Unique, I hope that question helps you, or that answer helps you out with the question that you posed. Thank you for trusting me with your question. And you can always follow up if you like a longer question, or a longer reading. You can go ahead and make a donation in the chat, and we'll get you set up to take a more in-depth look at that connection, that relationship that you have with Diamond. I do want to point out to you guys some of the wonderful, wonderful shows we have coming up here. So tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m., we have Destiny K, Divine Love and Light, at 7 p.m. And you guys really need to check her out. The energy of her show is really interesting, and yeah, she's lovely. So check her out tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m. We have Journey Ryan live tomorrow, also at 10 p.m. And one of my favorites, Cassidy the Card Slinger, is at 11 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Love, love, love Cassidy. All right, so let's move forward. Let's get our next question. I know you guys got them, so make sure you're dropping them in the chat for me. All right, we have a donation from Down and Over 12. Thank you so much for your donation. My name is Blanca, and I have a date Friday. The closer I'm getting to that, the more I'm getting so nervous. Oh my gosh, yes. But I just want to say, what can you tell me about him? His name is Art, and is he nervous? All right, let's take a look at what's going on with Art and how they're viewing you at this time. Especially if this is a first date, in those situations. You just don't necessarily know much about the person yet. So, okay, Art's definitely looking to make a love connection, of course, with this 2 of Cups. Like, they are looking forward to, this is going to sound awful, but looking forward to pushing it as far as they can, right? Not the best thing to hear, but think about it in terms of the fact that isn't that what guys are always doing on a first date? They're trying to see how far they can go. So nothing new there, nothing that with that should alarm you, okay? I also have the Two of Swords, which is telling me definitely has his guard up, right? He plans to go in with this Ace of Swords and make you do most of the talking. He would like to check out the things that come out your mouth and see how it is that. So in other words, what I'm trying to get at here, real simple, his strategy with the date is to get you talking, to sit back quietly, be very cordial and nice and all that kind of stuff, but he wants you to get talking about what it is you're looking for, those kinds of things, because then he can look at how he can move forward with you, how he can act to be those things. So you're saying, I'm afraid I might come on kind of intimidating to him. I'm not seeing intimidation. He's moving forward very strongly with this Ace of Cups. He has a game plan. And this seems like the run-of-the-mill game plan that he really, I feel I'm pushy. Okay, well, let's take a look at how he's viewing you in that regard as well. I mean, I get the High Priestess. I think he sees you as like, you're not the average girl that he's used to. There's things about you that stand out very strongly to him. You're kind of right now on a pedestal in his mind. So I've relaxed a little bit. Like I'd relax with the nervousness as much as you can about wondering if you're his type, if this is, if this is something that he's really looking forward to. I do see that he's looking forward to it, right? I don't see nervousness though. I see a real self-assuredness. He might come across a little quiet with this Two of Swords, but again, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, he has a game plan and he's gonna run it. Now, for you on the other side of that, you need to get him talking. You need to get him out of that sitting back quietly smiling and listening to everything you have to say. You don't need to go into that date. Also, will there be a second date? You don't need to go into that date and be like, telling him your life story, right? Just know what it is. Be good company. Be fun, and just let him see you for who you really are. He does look at you in a way, as far as your looks and how you carry yourself. He sees someone that he feels like should be on a pedestal. So good news, right? And as far as that second date is concerned, with the Ten of Pentacles showing up, I think so. That's a given. All right. So I hope that helps you out. I hope that, yes, he will definitely like what he sees, Blanca. Definitely. You're on the pedestal. The looks, your demeanor, the way you carry yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. He likes what he sees. So relax. You got this. Like you're already walking in with that advantage. Okay. Just be your fun self and it's going to be great. Oh, she says, thank you so much. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Love it. Yes, have a great time, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, right? Like it comes down to going out, yeah, meeting someone new, whether or not, whatever happens, happens. But at the end of the day, you just want to have a good time and a good experience. And I think that you're going to have that here. And I think you're definitely having the second date. All right. All right. So I hope that helped you out. Thank you very much again for your donation. And let's move forward. That was a good one. I love those questions right there. Like, I love that. I love looking at love readings are some of my favorite readings, and they're my favorite readings to receive. So yeah, okay. That says a lot about me that you might not want to know about. So let's move forward here. All right, so Audrey's back. Cassandra is always trying to destroy us. What did she mean with her last text on Wesley's work phone? We followed prior advice to block her, but she found a way. She's blocked on his personal phone. Okay, so Cassandra is coming across to be an ex, right? And from your previous question, they have kids together. All right. What did she mean? What was her intent? So let's look at her, Cassandra. What was going on with her towards Wesley? Wow. Okay. Yeah, so right away I get the Ace of Wands in the reverse, along with Two of Swords. Some slice and dice energy is what I'm feeling. Like this Ace of Wands, whether it's upright or reversed, what you can see there is there's a big stick, right? Like, and in the reverse, what I'm picking up is I have a big stick that I intend to beat someone with, and I'm doing that in a negative manner, right? So yeah, the intent was not good. With the Two of Cups, though, like if you come at me, and I'm speaking from her point of view in her headspace, if you come at me the wrong way, I'm gonna slice and dice you with this Two of Cups, or with this Two of Swords rather. Like I'm gonna wield these swords in my favor. The intent overall is to win with this Ace of Swords. Yeah, with this Ace of Swords, she uses the kids as an excuse, Audrey says. Well, with this Ace of Swords, she is out to win by any means necessary. Like, there's lots of swords here, right? And she has some proficiency at using them, and she's going to use them. And this is not going to be the end of it. And with the Star, wow, that Star energy is coming across very interestingly, because all right, thank you, Audrey, for your question. I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you to see where she's coming from. It sounds very much like you've got it pegged correctly. Like there's a lot of energy there of totally being out for myself and by any means necessary. So go with your gut. Audrey says, yes, she won't leave us or him alone. I unfortunately don't see that changing. All right. So take care, take cover when necessary. And to be forewarned is to be forearmed, I always say. So who's next? What do we got going on? My next question. Colleen, are there any details or insights you could share about the home it looks like I'm going to purchase later this year? So from that question, sounds like you have your eye on a place already, or at least on the search towards a place. So if you can let me know if you already have a specific place that you've identified, or if later this year is the time frame in which you plan to actually begin your search. So if you can let me know that, I can really get into that and let you know exactly, because we have 2 minutes. So I can spend 2 minutes trying to decipher that, or I can spend 2 minutes really getting into what you want to know. So if you'll give us an update on that, I can read for you on that question, Colleen. There's a place I would like, yes. Whether I can afford it or not is another thing. Of course, right? And God, with what's going on in the real estate market at this time, can any of us afford a place? It's crazy out there. All right, so let's take a look at the energy surrounding this particular home. And I'm going to read on this particular home that you're asking about, that you're interested in. And I have the King of Swords in the reverse. I have the Ace of Wands in the reverse. And I have the Two of Swords. And what I'm getting with that, I'm not seeing good things as far as that particular home and being able to acquire it this year in the time frame that you're talking about, because that's what I'm asking Spirit about. With the King of Swords in the reverse, it's like you're not able to get the right deal is what I'm feeling with that, right? And the Ace of Wands in the reverse just further kind of doubles down on that. It's kind of like whoever you're dealing with, and as far as making the deal, and it may, if this is a not a new home, but a previously owned home, it might be like what you're offering in your offer versus what they. All right, hope that helps you out there with that home. Um, really, on that question, I want to tell you there's several things happening. It would be worth your while to get a longer reading in order to really get into that situation. Because sometimes what happens, and I don't know, and I like to educate people on the fact that, Colleen says, thank you, you're welcome. When you're asking for a reading, when you ask your question, right? The first thing that happens is we read on the energy of the situation as it stands, right? Going forward, like what is the trajectory of this situation, right? So there are different choices, different decisions that you can make and pretty much make based on the answers that you receive that can change that trajectory. So in a longer reading, that's something that can be looked at because I want to say 8 times out of 10, the energy isn't set in stone, right? It can be changed. And that's the beauty of a reading because you get to see the layout, the lay of the land as it is currently, where it's going. And then you can also see, how, I don't like that result. How do I change it? And we can look at how to change it or if it can be changed. Just a little knowledge for those of you who may either not get readings regularly or you do, but you haven't encountered the kick-ass readers like we have on this network that can actually do a reading that can get you to the answer that you want, right? So just something to keep in mind. But that, of course, is a longer reading because you have to look at several things. All right, so let's move forward. What's up? All right, we have a 3-minute reading donation, and I thank you, Gemma, for that. So let's get started. How does Adam feel about me? We are romantically involved. All right, good. Let's take a look at that. All right, so let's look inside his heart, his mind towards Gemma. Wow. Okay, so we come off the top here with the 7 of Wands in the reverse, as well as the 4 of Swords in the reverse. Seeing that feels very much to me, right? Like if I look, the first thought that I had and I was slapped in the face with is that something went down that caused some distrust in him towards you. Not saying that you necessarily did anything to be worthy of his distrust, but that's exactly where he is in his heart and mind. Like this is a very distrustful feeling, this 7 of Wands in the reverse. Now, the good news is these cards are in the reverse because in the upright, these are definitely cards that would read as that. But because they're in the reverse, what that tells me is he's starting to move past this feeling, past this these thoughts that he's had in the past of distrust towards you, right? We can, if we have time here, we can dig a little further to see where that started, if it started with you or if it started before you. But I do have the Strength card in the reverse as well as the 7 of Pentacles in the reverse. And with the Strength card in the reverse, I hate to say this. It's like, but I got to be straightforward. Strength in the reverse has given me a thought of I don't have to be my best self. Like I can just slide by here. I can give her what she wants to hear and not necessarily follow up. I don't have to bring my all. I don't have to bring my A game to this relationship. And that is unfortunate, and I'm sorry to say that to you. With the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like I'm not waiting. You know, when you're in a relationship and it's leading somewhere and you're hopeful about that, and you are, and this is his point of view, and you're hopeful about it leading somewhere, but to get to that next step, there's no anticipation of that with this Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, right? It's kind of like, oh my God. It's just like sliding by in this connection. So let's take a look at what caused or where the source of distrust was. And I do have the Two of Wands in the reverse. And I get at the beginning and the Star. So thank you. Thank you for your question. I'm sorry I couldn't necessarily give you the answer that you may have most wanted to hear, but I will say it like this. I try my hardest and my best never to sugarcoat, in a sense of giving you a happy, happy, joy, joy reading where that's not what the energy portrays, right? Because I feel like that's harmful. I feel like it's harmful to set someone up with a happy, happy joy when it's really not happy, happy joy, right? Now, if you are okay with the status quo in the relationship as it is, then this reading is fine for you, right? But if you yourself want to see it go further and expand and reach beyond what it is, there's going to have to, that's what I read is from his point of view, there's going to have to be a major shift in that, is what I'm feeling, okay? So hopefully, and I'm dropping things around me, that's confirmation here. Hopefully that information is helpful, because hopefully it helps you to make the right decisions that you need to make with your heart, okay? And that's the way I like to look at that. So thank you again for trusting me with your question. And let's look to see who is next here. All right, we have the Celtic Dragon. Will I get justice? Ooh, against a former employer that terminated while I was on leave getting mental health therapy. You know, that's the worst. Let's get some cards for you. All right, because this is craziness. All right. Will you get justice? As in, justice could be many things. So if you can quickly just tell me, is it that you're seeking your job back? Is it that you're seeking some financial restitution? That would help me, because then we have a specific outcome that we know we want to focus on, and your chances of such, okay? So if you could update that question in the chat, then I can definitely read for you on that. And again, that's kind of like the energy that I've been feeling this week, right? Like when I started off the hour here, I was talking about how people, like, I call it bogarting, like they just want to bogart in and do what they want to do and walk all over you, right? And so the Celtic Dragon came back and said, financial restitution, disability discrimination. Okay, I know those waters. I've been there, done that, and I know, and I commend you, because that's a tough situation to be in, right? So let's keep this straight. But let's take a look. And again, cards flying out the deck, right? So let's take a look and see what is the energy around this and where it's going. I have the Knight of Swords. Woo! Fierce energy coming in here. I have the Queen of Cups, and I have the Three of Swords. Wow. Okay. So with this Knight of Swords, I really feel this rush of energy, like you get some momentum going with your case, right? Like the momentum's going. And then, of course, we can't ignore the sword here and the way that she's suspended in the sky, kind of like swooping in. It's kind of like saying that's the sword of justice, in a sense, is how I'm perceiving that. So you get some momentum and some movement with that Knight of Swords, right? And you're rushing in. And with the Queen of Cups, I also feel as if you are able to gain an ally in. All right. I thank you for trusting me with that question. Definitely, there's energy there that you need to know about. So if you have a chance to go back in the chat tonight and get a longer reading, I would advise that. All right. But best of luck with your case. Thank you, he says, and thank you. And good luck for you. Okay. All right. I see lots of things happening there in the chat. So let's move forward. I want to get to all the questions I can tonight. All right, we got another 3-minute reading. Yay! Thank you, Laura. All right, I've been single since 2004. Do you see me having a love relationship anytime soon? And where will I meet him? All right, I know it's been a long time for me too. So let's see what what Cupid is saying for you. Let's look at this year. We have 3 minutes. Let's look at this year and see what's going on. And I'm going to pull for the first half of the year, which is the rest of January through June 30th. And we have the 7 of Cups in the reverse. And then for the end of the year, we have the Supreme in the reverse. The Supreme is a card that's just very specific to this deck. I don't necessarily like how these cards are in the reverse, but with this first half of the year through June, the possibilities with the 7 of Cups in the reverse seem to be closed off. And what I'm hearing in my ear is they're closed off because you're not putting yourself out there. You're not getting out. You're not making a concerted effort to go places, do things. That doesn't mean bar or anything like that, or it could be, but it could be like just doing something of interest, like go take a dance lesson, go to the theater, you're not out in places where you are able to meet someone, right? Or the places that you are going and maybe you're hanging out with a friend or something, it's not conducive to someone approaching you is what I'm getting here, especially with this 8 of Pentacles in the reverse, clarifying it, because that's saying like anyone who would see you and be interested, it feels like too much of a hurdle to get to you. So that's for January through June, and Spirit is saying get out there. Like you're probably not going to meet anyone sitting in the house unless maybe the UPS man, but let's not narrow it down to the UPS man. Let's get out and be seen. With the Supreme card for June to the end of the year and December in the reverse, and it's being clarified by the Sun, which is the most positive card in the deck. That's your time. That's your time to be out and be seen for real. Like you need to start practicing for the end of the year. Like what I mean by that is get out between now and June. Because I get this feeling of being shy or being like awkward feeling in situations where you might need to meet someone. And so Spirit is saying, get out and just practice. Like every person that you run into that looks interesting to you, you don't have to put like all this nervousness on it. It's just practice with these people, because June through December, you're going to be shining like a diamond. And with the Supreme card in the reverse, if you're still walking around feeling, she says, spot on. Okay. So if you're walking around feeling, and I'm just going to finish that statement. If you're feeling self-conscious in the last half of the year, it's not going to serve you. In fact, you'll be shooting yourself in the foot, because you will be glorious to someone and you need to get out. All right. Thank you for trusting me with your question. That was a good one. Like that energy felt so nice. Like that energy actually felt like your energy felt so lovely that, yeah, you deserve love. She says, thank you. Thank you, Laura. So best of luck to you. Get out there, girl. All right. So who's next? What do we got going on here? We have Kelly. When the time comes, will my house sell quickly and will I get a good price for it, please? All right, let's take a look at that situation. And this card wanted to jump up. I'm going to take it. It's the Three of Wands. Um, and this Three of Wands is a little different. It shows like this long winding path, right? So will it sell? It's going to be a little journey. You're going to go through a little journey with the selling of this house, right? I have the Two of Swords. And I have the King of Swords in the reverse. So there's something here about the asking price and what the buyer is looking for. And I'm strongly feeling like there's a mismatch with the two of those. So there's something that needs to be done in the house to upgrade or spruce up to meet your potential buyer's expectation so that you can get the price that you want, or you're going to have to sell as is for a lower price in order to attract a buyer. So there's a strong mismatch there with that. And that may be what this journey is talking about, because I'm getting even more vibes off of that with this Page of Pentacles in the reverse of you not wanting to go that path of doing any kind of updates or lowering the price. It's kind of like, I want to do what I want to do. I want this price, and why can't they just pay me this price is fundamentally what that feeling is for me, right? With this Ace of Swords, I am seeing where you do have success in selling. Let's see if it is actually. Maybe not. Wow. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So that's the energy that I'm seeing around that. So you've got some decisions to make there. And given the information that came through for you there, hopefully that helps you in regards to getting into the proper mind frame or making the actual plans that you'll need to make in order to get to your end goal. Okay, so thank you for trusting me with your question. I hope that it was helpful for you. All right, so let's take a look at the next question. All right, Shakti says, I would love to know if you could describe my future husband, personality, character, and how he is. Please, thank you. Anything you see is appreciated. All right, here's what that particular question is very loaded, right? And as a reader, I look at it in a couple of different ways. And here's how I'll answer it here for you today. First, unfortunately, I mean, if the world were a perfect place, we're all guaranteed a husband or wife or significant other, right? But that's not necessarily the case. So we'll look to see what that energy looks like. And then once we discover that, we'll see where to go forward, okay? So let's get into this spirit and get an answer here for Shakti. All right. I am getting this strong energy with the Five of Wands, right? Which is a card of, and Shakti says, awesome, thank you. It's a card of competition and struggle, right? I'm getting struggling with competition, right? And when I looked in my deck to get a clarifier, I got the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, and that came through as a strong feeling of not wanting to work with others. So it's almost a feeling of relationships, dear heart, become this power struggle, or at least that's what you've experienced, and that's where it tends to go. Spirit's cautioning you to look at your part in creating that power struggle between you and someone that you would like to have as your significant other when you take on a relationship. All right, Shakti. Wow, that was some... Shakti, you need a reading. that was some energy, a lot there. But I hope that what came through by way of caution for spirit shows you where the block is currently for you. Okay. It's a block that you're not going to be able to get around until you change some things. And Shakti says, thank you. Thank you for trusting me, dear. All right. What do we have next? We've had some really, questions on different topics, and I'm loving this. I'm actually loving this. Okay. So we have Kirsten Nicole. Do you see a career change for me? All right, Kirsten, let's look at this year. Okay. 2023. If there is one coming in, and what it's going to take to get there. Wow. The sun. Yes. 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 She who can do all things. All right. So the sun. Yes. And you're a very, very attractive candidate, right? So, I'm not sure if you already are on a track to get there, but let's look at what it is going to take to actually get you there. So I have the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. I have the 7 of Cups in the reverse. And I have the 5 of Cups. And what I'm saying with that is be very specific, very, very specific in what you're doing. Like, that saying, take off the blinders, that people want you to broaden your sights. In this case, you want to put on the blinders and you want to get very, very focused towards what you want, right? So everything that you do, take on, every search, every application, every resume that you send out needs to be crafted towards a very specific goal, right? Also, again, with this 8 of Pentacles in the reverse, 8 of Pentacles upright is very much about looking at the details and doing the detail work. This is like you're getting lost in the minutia, and that's your stumbling block at this time. You need to, like I said, have a very firm focus, but not where you're just zeroed completely in and you get lost in the details of trying to execute the search, execute as far as skills and upping your zhuzhing your skill set. Broaden was the word I wanted to use in that regard. All right. So hope that made sense and hope that's helpful for you. But yeah, the sun. Oh my God. You better go ahead and do it this year, honey. That's all I can say to you. All right. With that being said, let's see what the next question we have here is. We're on a roll. I feel like this is some of the best energy that I've felt all week is talking to you guys. So thank you guys for giving me that tonight. So we have Oleg, and something is brewing at work. Ha. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at what's brewing for Oleg at work, what you need to know, and what's happening. Wow. 5 of Swords. Yeah. You hit that nail on the head. Something is brewing at work without a doubt. We have the Hanged Man in the reverse, and we have the 9 of Wands. So there's a lot of backbiting with this 5 of Swords, a lot of backbiting and things being said. And I'm getting a strong feeling here that enough of this is being done right in front of you that, of course, you caught a whiff of it. But there's so much more being said about you behind your back, right? With this Hanged Man in the reverse, the actual rumors, things that are being said are getting to your superiors, right? It's reaching their ears. And the impression that is being built about you is that your performance is lackluster, is what I'm getting with this Hanged Man in the reverse, right? And that is something that you would do well to go and change that around. Like, make sure that whenever someone's looking at you, you're not giving off that image, and nothing you're doing is seen as lackluster. Put some extra effort into what's happening. With this Nine of Wands in the reverse, this is the Wounded Warrior card, and unfortunately, yes, this is hurting you in many ways. So let's take a look with our time left at what you can do to turn this situation around, if anything. We have the Six of Swords in the reverse. It's telling you to stick with where you are currently, though. So don't go running out the door quite just. All right. I hope that that helps you. What a nasty energy to be caught in. And yeah, like I keep going back to what I said at the beginning, at the top of the show, about like the whole, nasty energy that I've been noticing this week, and how people are just kind of running amok, I call it, where, they don't care about the effects of their actions and their words. They don't care what that's doing to other people. And you've got a real concentrated dose of that happening in your workplace. So best of luck to you. I hope that this was helpful to you. All right, let's take our next question. So we have D. Ryan. Will I be successful with employment soon? All right, let's take a look. I also like to take a look with that at, what could be holding you back at this time from getting what you want. So let's do one more shuffle, and I'll throw down some cards here for you, D. Wow. All right. This is interesting. So as we look at the months ahead here, yeah, so I pulled the Death card, right? And this particular Death card is interesting because she has butterflies all over her. So what I'm seeing with that is there's an opportunity here to make a transformation. And that transformation is like specifically for you to pick up some additional skills that are going to help you in your journey towards employment, right? I get something around money and maybe that not being on your radar or something that you're thinking about, like taking classes. But I would urge you to look at resources that are very low cost or no cost, and they're out there. They're out there. So it's kind of like change your attitude, change your way of looking at things, because you're missing a lot that's available to you as far as helping you obtain the skills you need to move forward in a very significant way. And that's coming through with the Moon card. It's kind of like laying back and being like, oh, I can't do this. I just want to stay in bed and eat bonbons, right? So Six of Cups comes through to say that you will be able to make some headway with people that networking, word of mouth, going out, talking to your network of professional friends or people that you view that you. Well, hopefully you'll choose to do a longer reading on that, because there was a lot of good information there as far as how you could move forward, and there are changes that you need to make on your end in order to get to the success that you want. Okay, so it's not a lost cause at all. Let's take our next question. We only have a few minutes left, and then I have to wait all the way till next week to talk to you guys. All right, I think this is Brolick. All right, what does Spirit want me to know about my career progress? All right, a little general. Be more specific. Like if you want to put your question back on the list to say, career progress, does that mean getting to the next level? Does that mean finding a new job? What does that mean? What is career progress to you? All right, next question. Amy, what do you see happening for me in April and May when I go on my trip? Is this a romantic trip, a work trip, a girls trip? Amy, can you tell me that? I'm going to shuffle while you tell me that. And let's concentrate on that April, May time frame for her. If not, we'll have to, hopefully you can update your question here quickly because we only have a few minutes. Otherwise, we'll have to move to the next on the list. So let's go ahead and take the next question if we can. All right, Cindy. My friend Jay just found out he has a rare form of cancer. I'm so sorry. In the blood. It's treatable. He will know more tomorrow. I've been praying every day to Saint Teresa. I just want to know if my prayers are being heard. Saint Teresa is wonderful. I can tell you that. All right, I'm very sorry to hear about your friend. And you actually have a connection here with Saint Teresa. Yes and no. So I have the Sun card, which is very positive, right? And I think that she sees you, she sees Saint Teresa, sees you, sees the prayers that you're putting forth. What I would suggest to you is that you find out what her offerings are, what she accepts as offerings, and you start to put those forth. A lot of people try to pay the offering after what they've asked for has been answered. It would do you well in this case to put the offerings first to let her know you're serious, right? Because sometimes when you just need an emergency something from a spirit like this, a spirit that you don't necessarily work with all the time, then there's a delay and we want to avoid that. So let her know you're serious and put forth the offering soon, right? I think the question was about her hearing you. So Queen of Swords in the reverse, Six of Cups, and Temperance, right? And yeah, so a lot of cutting energy as far as I think there may be some type of surgery coming forward in your friend's future, in the near future, actually. And with the Six of Cups and the Temperance card, I would say whomever your friend Jay is seeking out as far as medical professionals, they are very capable of handling the situation. And all right, I hope that was able to give you some encouragement with that. I don't remember right off the top of my head what St. Teresa's offerings are, but a quick internet search will help you with that. All right, so let's take a look at the last question for our show. All right, so we have Allison. I shared my question is, when will I meet my forever partner? All right. All right, Allison. Let's look at this year. Okay, so we need a specific time frame. So let's look at this year. So I'm going to take now through April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and then November, December. So now through April, I have the Magician in the reverse. And what this is showing me is, although you have everything you need to be out there, because look how sexy this Magician is, like see-through gown and all that. You have all the appeal that's necessary, but you execute wrong. I think in part it's the places where you go when you're hopeful of meeting someone, right? Like the types of places that you frequent. You need to get out of your shell more, because the types of places that you're going to and maybe how you present yourself when you're in those places don't necessarily, they're not necessarily getting you where you want to be as far as meeting up with your future mate. May, June, July, I have the Ten of Pentacles, which is a wonderful card about relationships long lasting. So there is a potential in May, June, or July of meeting someone. I know I need to get out more, she says, just don't know where to go. Okay, well, have it figured out by May, okay? Because May, June, July is your time to shine, and there's definitely long-term potential here in someone. And when I say that because the Ten of Pentacles is about building a legacy. All right. I hope that helps you out. With the whole soulmate thing, long term, forever. Um, People define that differently. So if you see me hesitate on that, that's why. So I try to be specific about what I mean. But I want to thank you all for joining me here tonight. I had so much fun with you. I really enjoyed myself. And I ask you, personally, ask you to come back at midnight and see the Whispers in the Forest with Squirrel, because Squirrel will knock your socks off. She's amazing. All right. But until next week, this is it for me, Gigi, and I'll see you next week.